Let's go.
And we're back. Episode 122. We have Cenzo. Boardman gets paid. Looks like he's wearing.
All day. All day.
We have John Michael. Yeah. Some of you know him as Yianni, repping Tight Mercury.
Mm.
And
I think I wore that. I think I wore that T-shirt.
You did
T-shirt last time.
The exact same T-shirt.
I think I wore that T-shirt last time.
That's typically what happens with Tight Mercury after an event. Is you see it.
Everyone's got the shirts on.
Everyone see it make its round for a couple months.
They feel great, right? I really like that T-shirt.
Tight and Mercury does an awesome job taking care of athletes with good apparel. So
they sure do.
This episode, a couple sponsors. We'll start off with Attack. They're our main sponsor, our main partner. The Attack app is sick. Gina Perry actually wrote a really cool article on Intermat today about one of the goals and purposes of Attack, which is to help kind of serve an unserved market, which is people who can't really afford high-level coaches, mental coaches, all that. So go read that article on Intermat. You'll understand better, I think, what Attack is. Also, download the app. It's ATAC. You can score points. It will help guide you and coach you through workouts and mental exercises, everything else. So go download Attack. You'll love the app. Follow them on social, atac.app. So, Cenzo, we'll start with you. You are where right now?
I'm in New Hope, Pennsylvania at the moment. Right on the PA New Jersey border. Yeah.
And
go ahead.
For the avid listeners, you are not in your new bachelor pad.
No, I'm not there. I'm in my buddy from college's house. So I'm just in the office right now.
It looks
I'm
like
out here doing some. It's not bad out here doing some business. So
Boardman gets paid.
Boardman always gets paid. Let's go Clippers. Yeah.
And Yianni, you're back in Ithaca, right? I saw you in Rochester like yesterday or Friday or something.
Yeah, I got back from Poland. I kind of saw my family for the day, and now I'm back. We'll probably get into it a little bit, but we got a bunch of guys coming in from out of town, so just trying to get to meet some of these guys before they get out of here.
And your mom, by the way, and Mike have like completely redone their house.
Yeah, I
like completely.
I pulled into the driveway, and I'm like, I know that this is where our house is.
But I
didn't recognize the house. I drove past it. I was like, what? Like, it's completely caught me off guard. They redid the whole house where my mom was.
It's so funny because I follow some of the updates she posts, but we're moving in a culture to where people aren't sharing everything as much as they used to. Like my buddy Dave, I dropped something off to his house, all these renovations done. I had no clue he was doing any of them. Like, I feel like we're not sharing as much as like big things.
Just because you're getting something done doesn't mean you have to share.
Agreed. But like 5 years ago, everybody would share.
I'm all right. Whenever social media was I guess newer, but I'm all for the pond updates. You don't need to post them, but I'm all for it. You even said that you would like to post more. So
yeah. And I did. There was an escapade with snapping turtles this morning and
awesome
rabbits, and, blue heron. So I'm sure Imar is very excited watching this morning story.
So one thing, I'm just looking at these notes right here, and I love how you spelled Muskayev.
I'm not like Yianni. Yianni can probably pronounce and spell every Russian's name. Like, I need reminders on how to pronounce their names.
we refer to Muskayev as Moose. He's like Moose to us.
See, he's got nicknames.
That's our boy Moose.
He's not only established.
He's like a funny dude.
I guess
his on mat antics are kind of funny. Like,
it's awesome. Like, it's definitely frustrating when it's being done to you, but it's so funny. Like, if you can just remove like the competition from it and just watch it for what it is, how can you not like get a kick out of that?
Dude, I'm watching you wrestle this guy, and like you just kept your cool the entire time, and I don't know how you did that. Like,
it definitely gets frustrating. Like with the blood time, he like was doing this, like trying to get some blood, and was like, "Oh, blood," and then would like wipe it on the mat. So you got to like wipe it up after. I'm like, man.
Yeah, man. I just went back and rewatched it again. Like, so do you obviously he's gonna pull some of that stuff going into the match. So like, do you just tell yourself, hey, I just got to keep my cool?
I just know that this match is I just have an understanding. I'm like, all right, he's not gonna do anything in the beginning, and if you're in a bad position, he's gonna go like as hard as he can. And then I knew like the second period was when it was gonna pick up, and I had to just be ready for some like crazy stuff. Like at the World Championships, he was like his knee would get hurt. He'd get hit in the nuts. Like, and it was like every single thing. He'd throw the brick just to like have the ref pick it up. Be like, no, I don't want to challenge. Take the brick back, get back. Like, he had like this whole thing down, right? And like, it's funny because he has like no shame about it. Like, he's not like, he doesn't be like, oh, I'm not tired. Like, I'm actually hurt. Like, he's like, no, I'm tired, but like, this is how I can get my break. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. It's like sincere, I guess.
At least he's like nice about it.
Yeah, he's not like faking it. Like, he's like, oh, I'm just saying my knee hurts because you won't let me take a break.
Yeah, that would drive me crazy. I'd have to like be like, hey, Cenzo, calm down.
I'm just like, all right.
I'd be getting all agitated.
Well,
for me, like, I don't mind too, because I know it doesn't matter how much time he gets. Like, he can't not be tired.
Right, he's gonna be tired.
Like,
no matter what.
Take all the time you want. As soon as we get back up, I'm gonna get you tired in another 20 seconds.
Well, and he didn't wrestle another match after yours.
No, he said he was sick. Or no. Oh, well, I don't know, because so I heard someone tell me he was sick, but then Joey McKenna said that he like was outside like after our match, like just trying to catch his breath. He was just laying outside like on the sidewalk.
Yeah, he's probably sick of wrestling.
And they were trying to like find him to like get him out there, and then by the time he got there, it was like too late because they like couldn't find him. But I heard like those were the two stories I heard. One of them I heard he was out there because he was like, I'm done. And another one was that he was just trying to like catch his breath, and he was catching his breath for too long. Like, had to come back.
That's fine.
Well, we've all been there. When you wrestle him, I noticed too, like, I can imagine it almost seems like it's harder to not be frustrated with the refs. Like, every time you're in a scramble, I feel like, and this is why wrestling gets confusing for fans, because if the wrestlers can't keep track and know exactly how something's going to be scored, how can fans? And as soon as something happens, you're just like looking at the ref, like, am I going to get these points? Like, obviously you didn't expose.
Yeah. Well, the one thing that's like frustrating a little bit for people who don't really understand like the dynamic of international wrestling is that sometimes these refs get the calls wrong, and it's not like the rules are foggy. Like, everybody knows how things are supposed to get scored. Like, I do. Joe knows. He understands how it's supposed to get scored, like Musakayev does. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I think they're just sometimes they're a little biased against Americans, and I think sometimes they're kind of like out to get you a little bit, and they don't even like mean to. But it's just kind of like, oh wow, this European guy, like, he has such good technique. Of course, that's his points. But like, if you looked at it objectively as just wrestler A and B, they probably wouldn't score it that way. But sometimes they get influenced because like they know that Musakayev is super strong and fast. So when he gets a double leg, it's got to be his points. Like, they get influenced a little bit by the wrestler. Like, we talk about it, like Sadulayev will get on calls a lot because he's Sadulayev. Of course, he'd scored. Like, he's so good. How could he not? You know what I mean? And people, like, the refs get influenced like that a little bit.
Yeah, that happens in college wrestling.
It happens in college wrestling too. Like, there's a reason. Like, it's not like guys start stalling against Iowa.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, the fans just scream for it and they pull stall calls. Like,
listen, I was a much better pinner in rec call than I was anywhere else.
Yeah,
I understand that. Like,
we get pins in the Freedman Center. The guy's shoulders aren't even like, you know, but that's how it is. Like,
hey,
when we go overseas,
Wilson,
we don't
Tariq
get
Wilson, Jay Nyman.
Yes. Yeah. Tariq was literally bridging up like this, but like,
but Jay Nyman's a pinner, so he was pinned.
Yeah, exactly.
He is a good pinner, but not that time.
Yeah, and like, but that's how it goes. You know what I mean? Same thing. Like, when we're over there, we're just like, they talk to us like, you're not gonna get calls. Don't even try to get them. Like, just, you're not going to get them. And the same thing, like, if we ever bring guys here, like, we get those calls. There's like a reason that we always beat guys when they come here, because it's more even. If anything, might be shifted our way a little bit.
No, it's only even. Definitely no shit.
It just finally balances to even.
Mm-hmm, it does.
Yeah, honestly.
And then you beat McKenna like 15-4. The last time you guys wrestled was super close in his favor. This time you just blew it out 15-4. What do you think was so different about that?
You know, I was dealing with some injury stuff when he beat me last time, and I think additionally, you know, I've gotten a lot better. Not that Joey like hasn't. I'm sure he's improved too, but I just think I made a lot of adjustments from the trials, and obviously it hasn't been enough time for all of them to really be engraved in. But I made a lot of changes, and I think that, you know, it kind of, I think you could tell in Poland, even in the matches not with Joey, like I wrestled differently. I was doing different stuff, and I think it just translated into that match really well. Like everything kind of came together when I was wrestling Joey. And there's still, a lot to build off, right?
Always
do you know when you're wrestling next? I feel like it's such a dead period now.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a break. I for now, my focus is just helping Kyle get ready for the Olympic Games. He's going to take me as his training partner. So,
oh, that's awesome.
He's been awesome for me, right? So this is kind of the first chance that I've ever had to be able to really help him, like where he's had to lean on me, so I want to be able to help him, right? So I'll be helping him get ready, and indirectly that's going to do a lot for me because getting slammed by him every day is gonna get me there, right? and next thing for me will probably be the World Team Trials in September.
Have you been doing any of his like functional pattern stuff? Because I saw some of your motion over in Poland and that
stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, after the trials, I started doing it. I've been doing it for probably a month and a half, maybe more now. I guess it's been a while.
Sure.
It definitely gets a bad rep.
Why?
Because I'm not, but like people just don't believe it, but I think it's good. It's helped me a lot. And like, obviously if you're not a good wrestler, it's not going to make you a great wrestler. Right. But neither will lifting. So it's just like, for me, it's like a resource, something that really helps me. It's changed my movement a lot. Like, I feel like I move my feet a lot better. I shoot with a little more force than I used to. And, I think as I continue to build on it, right, keep developing those skills and get into more complex movements, I think it's going to continue to help me.
Yeah, man. Like I just, see him like the way he like does like his motions and stuff like that. Even he comes down, works out with us every once in a while, and just like his like footwork, things like that. It's very intriguing to me.
Yeah, it's really different. Like I don't know how to describe it other than different, but like I've never seen anybody else even kind of move like that. You know what I mean? So it's really unique, and it's frustrating for other guys. Like when guys wrestle with Kyle, that's always what they say is like, what, like, I don't even know how to follow what he's doing.
Right. I mean? No, yeah. Cause like his like body is just like angled super different.
Yeah. He'll turn sideways and then like spin his head and turn the other way and then come back. And you're like doing this, trying to keep up with him. You know what I mean?
You're like, where?
So hard to follow.
Yeah, no doubt.
It seems like that even watching it, like him and Burroughs, like Burroughs was frustrated. He couldn't get to what he normally maybe gets to. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of see that Dake is like frustrating people right now.
Well, yeah, because I mean, think about Jordan. Like he leads the dance on everybody. Yeah. Like he always gets guys to fall behind. He like could not get Kyle to fall behind, and like then it was shifting where like Kyle was getting him to fall behind a lot. You know what I mean?
And it kind of looked like just, I'm not going to say Kyle was putting him in on his legs, but like whenever Jordan was shooting, those were the shots that Kyle wanted him to take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a little bit like that where he'll see your shot coming, and if he's like okay with how it looks, he'll be like, all right, let's go. Because to him, like you win on his leg, if he can get a chest wrap or whatever position he wants to be, might as well be the same thing as him shooting. It's like, oh, I'm in like in a winning position.
Oh yeah, no, you're like on the defense when you're on the leg.
Yeah. Uh-huh. He's just really hard to wrestle because he's good about forcing you into his areas, and then he's just so strong. So it's like you can't really like power through him once you're there. It's like it's a difficult style to like overcome.
So are you saying he's gonna win gold in Tokyo?
Yeah.
I
mean, like I'm knocking on my wood table right now, but I just like I said it before the trial too. It's like he's so good. I have a hard time imagining somebody who's better than him. Like he kills me. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. He destroys me. Like I can compete with him a little bit, you know what I mean? But he's really good, and it's like he's gotten me so much better, right, from wrestling with him. But I just have like I don't know. You know, you wrestle a guy and they beat you, but you're like, oh, like this is how I would beat them. Right. I have a hard time doing that with him.
So if you were like wrestle him like an actual match, like you don't know what your game plan would be.
Like my game plan, I would like think of one, but I wouldn't be like, oh, this was gonna do it for me.
This is gonna get it, yeah.
Like,
this might be
like, all right, let's see how this works. And I wrestle him every day for years and years and years. Like I have as much experience wrestling Kyle as anybody, and like I couldn't tell you.
That's just so impressive.
I think you said that last year when you were on here that it's like you expect Dake to win every single time and you never think he's going to lose. And anytime Kyle Dake ever loses, and I think a lot of people feel this way, it's a surprise. Like, how did he lose? He's almost expected to win so many matches because he is so good. That's how I look at it for Tokyo. Like, with how dominant he's been, it's like you expect him to win.
Yeah, he's really good. And I mean, he definitely, like, if you know Kyle, you know he's like, yeah, I'm the man. You know what I mean? So he's confident. I think he's obviously he's doing everything right. So I think we're gonna see his best version. Yeah, hopefully when we get there.
I liked your Instagram post the other day of you and Vito both tossing guys.
Me and Vito stealing his moves.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
I'm a big move stealer. Like Kyle will do something, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna start doing that, like headed in matches and stuff.
Well, yeah, it's not stealing. It's just like it's like anything else.
Iron sharpens iron.
Just learning the moves.
Right. Yeah.
I just make fun of him because like I'll steal. Like I say all the time, like I steal his moves and then do it.
You're like, hey, like if I'm better at it, then it becomes my move.
Then it's my move. Yeah. Right. Like the thief over here.
But over in Poland, it's Musakaya's move.
Yeah. It's his double leg.
That was just crazy. He like ended up on his back and they gave him 4 on that one. I was just like,
so that exchange. So there's like a lot of confusion with that. So they scored it. So they came up with this rule to like figure out exposure. So if I fall backwards and my hand posts behind my back, it's 2.
Right.
So they gave him 2 when he like dumped me off, and then another 2 out of bounds. So I guess he like took. So they said he took me down twice, basically, in that exchange.
Huh. That's why I looked at it and I was like, okay, that could be 2 for him, but like I don't see the 4 though. That's what. All right,
yeah, no, I was like, give me the brick. So I had Joe Russell in my corner, and he was like, had the brick ready to go and was just waiting for me to be like, yes, just do that thing out there. We were I was confident in that one. I'm like, we're not losing this challenge. There's no way he floored me, and there's no way that's 2 separate like takedowns.
Turns out.
It turns out it was.
Turns out it was.
Well, at least it turns out a ref thinks it was 2.
No, I mean, like, yeah. But you can't get frustrated, right? It's like that's the game you got to play with these guys sometimes.
Well, it was funny towards the end, like when there was like 13 seconds left, you were trying to get him back to the center, and he was just laying there, and you're like
doing that. But it's funny because like the ref, like I don't know, you've been there. You're like you're slow in the middle. The ref will be like, "Get up, come on." And you're like, "Okay." He'll be like, "No."
He's like, "No, I'm good."
Like, yeah. He's just like, "I need a minute." Like, I know you need a minute, but you got to get in.
That's not the point. He can't like just give him like a caution, like just start giving you points for that.
Well, they started cautioning him, but he had 2 cautions. So the next caution would have been like a DQ. So I knew they weren't gonna like DQ him unless it was really bad. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they DQ Gwiz?
They DQ'd Gwiz on cautions, and that was terrible.
Oh wow!
There was like some of them that could have been cautions, but the one that they cautioned him out on was not even close. Like he just got pushed. Like he was, I don't know, like he just couldn't push the guy back, so he got pushed out. That was
I've been there before. You can't stop the push out.
You're just like, all right, I'm getting pushed. Like I don't know. I feel like a caution's meant to be like I'm running away from you. Like if I get pushed out, I don't know, you push me.
Or a blatant headbutt, no like a blatant.
Yeah,
I'm frustrated. Douche.
Or like you know, you go out of bounds and then you lay on your back for like 20 seconds before going back. Yeah, like
tell the ref I don't want to get up.
Yeah, that could be a caution too.
Maybe they'll get you for that one.
Maybe.
I doubt it. Cenzo, I want to talk about Koll and Gray real quick. Do you want to tell people about one of our favorite sponsors?
Oh, I could talk about it a little bit. So, as I'm sure everyone knows, Father's Day is coming up and weather is catching heat. Ooh, nice. You got it up. Whether you have a dad bod or rocking a 6-pack, I can do both. Mostly the dad bod though. Make sure you and your dad are smelling nice and shaved where it matters most. Make your dad proud this year and get him and yourself the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 and the Refined Cologne by Manscaped. The brand new Lawnmower 4.0 and Refined Cologne is perfect for you and the dad in your life to complete your grooming game. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the code. Yianni, do you know the code? You know our promo code? Oh my gosh. All right. So promo code Cenzo, CENZO. 20% off, free shipping for Manscaped. Let it rip. If you haven't gotten one by now, then you should probably get on that. It's good stuff.
And it's Father's Day. Get it for a cousin, get it for a brother, get it for a father, uncle, whoever. Everybody needs to
get it for my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, the boy.
100%.
Everyone can use a body groomer.
Yeah. Or like your brother's birthdays are coming up. You want to give him you need to get him a last minute gift. Nothing better than this. I got 2 of them. Love them. That's Manscaped. So aside from Poland, I feel like so much has gone on that like you're right at the center of. Within the last couple of weeks, Cole's going to Stanford. Gray is now head coach at Cornell. And I had a couple people text me like right away, like, do you think Yianni's going to go to Stanford? I'm like, Yianni is not leaving Cornell. I'm like, Mike Gray is his boy. It's very evident.
Yeah.
Like if you look at photos of you guys, I remember I was on the floor during NCAAs and I didn't even want to come up to you because you were having like a conversation with me. You could tell it's so in depth. It's another level. So I'm like, Yianni never leaving Cornell. If Mike Gray leaves, maybe, but I'm like, he ain't leaving.
Yeah, I mean,
These past couple weeks, what's been going through your head with everything going on?
it's been a pretty hectic kind of time, right? Because it started out, we were at camp and it was like Mike being like, hey, don't tell anybody, but I think Coach Koll is maybe going to interview at Stanford. It was like, maybe might interview, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
right.
And then they left for Guatemala for Pan Ams. I came back and Mike was like, hey, we're having a meeting with Andy Noel, who's our athletic director. I was like, oh, that's weird. Okay. And he was basically talking about like, oh, guys, Coach Koll is thinking about leaving. And I'm like, this is really weird that we're having all this trouble for him, like thinking of like, you know what I mean? And then he was in Stanford and met some of our guys out at U23s and was helping a coach, right? Him and Ahad, because Mike and Kyle were at Pan Ams. And then it was kind of like, okay, Coach Koll's leaving. And we were like, whoa, you know what I mean? It kind of caught everybody off guard. And obviously, he has good reasons, right? He's not just leaving because he has any kind of ill. I mean, he's made it very clear he doesn't have any ill feeling towards our team or anything, right? Like we all like Coach Koll, and he was our coach. I mean, he's been here for so long. We were talking about it's almost weird to imagine the room without him there because he like lived there basically. But it's tough. But at the same time, we all believe in Mike. You know what I mean? And we're all really happy that he got it. That he's our guy. We're glad we didn't have to look out to other programs or whatever. I'm glad we could just keep it in house. And, we all definitely are riding the Mike Gray hype train right now. So, we're doing good.
So do you have any idea what other coach or coaches you guys are going to bring in?
We're working on guys. I think we basically, I don't want to say for sure, have the other three that we're going to take in. Okay. I don't want to say because it's probably not my place to start leaking that kind of stuff, but we have our guys locked in for the most part. And I think it's going to be pretty exciting when you guys get to hear about it. And then we're working on bringing in some RTC athletes too, just to train those. That's awesome. So, lot of changes, a lot of turnover, but I think overall it's going to be a really big improvement for us.
Well, if you change your mind while we're recording,
if I change my mind by the end of the podcast, maybe I'll text Mike. I'll text Mike and be like, hey, can I tell everybody?
Yeah, or just so it's better to do something and ask for forgiveness than to seek permission.
Than to ask for permission, right?
It's way easier. So like I would just go for that approach.
Yeah, like I'm 100% biased towards news getting released on Baschamania. Like,
so
I obviously love
it. Yeah, me too.
But I will say like the cool thing is that he's got his names. Like to have your guys and have them so quickly. You see some of these things are taking longer. Cole's hasn't locked in anybody yet. Some of these other schools, there's a lot of openings right now. So it's cool that at least he has the guys because it kind of came out of left field for him to even be head coach to start looking.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, the main reason I don't want to say is because we had 2 of the 4 guys visiting like this weekend. And we want to like make sure they're actually going to like it before I start throwing names around. But yeah, I mean, it started as like Mike and Kyle pulling me off the side and being like, hey, think about some coaches that we want to bring in just because, we have openings. And then when Mike got the head coaching job, he called me and was like, all right, we got to get those coaches now. I know we were thinking about it, like thinking time's over. We're pulling the trigger on
time to make some moves. Yeah.
Yeah, literally. So I'm really excited, and I'm excited for the guys we're going to bring in to train, so I think we're going to be fine. I know some people might be worried.
I have no
about
doubts.
It,
yeah. You guys, have been Cornell's just been killing it as a program for years. You guys have a bunch of studs there and just only getting better. So
we kind of got both 41 and 49, but we're working on bringing guys in for those 2 weights.
41, 49?
Yeah. No one really who can hold the spot down at that weight. So we're working on bringing some guys in.
Yeah, where are you going 57?
I'm actually going 33.
Oh, nice.
To that too.
Someone's gonna listen to this podcast and like not get that. Like, Yanni's going 33. Like some of the Matt.com forum is gonna go nuts.
See, why did you even say that? Because now they're gonna think twice about it.
You should have brought up. You're the one who
news leaked on the podcast.
Right. We were rolling with it until you.
I know. I was just gonna assume 57, but well, you got to get big to go wrestle with Kyle. So
I do have to get bigger for Kyle. Maybe I'll just abandon 33 and go 57.
That's what I would do.
That's probably it.
I don't see why not.
That's got to be a fun experience to go to Tokyo, go to the Olympics, and like.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I feel like, hopefully someday I'll get to go as an athlete. But until then, this is gonna be a really good experience for me. So that if I ever do get to go someday, right, it's not gonna hit me all at once.
I got
you. You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's definitely a part of it, right? Like you can get overwhelmed by the experience. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, you're somebody who's not really shy about international competitions. Like I've told people, I think you maybe wrestle better overseas.
I definitely think I have like reverse home field advantage.
Right.
Like away field advantage.
Right. Like, I mean, you've been going. I remember the picture years ago of when you went to Russia and you had the hat on, and not even like as a gimmick, like the big Russian hat. Like, yeah, you just love the hat. Like, right.
What's it called?
I call them like the Khabib hats, but they're called like a papaka. I think
a papaka,
something like that, or like a papaka, like a papka. It's something like that. They're the little white like military hats that Khabib always wears when he goes into the fight.
Yeah, no, I've seen it. I mean, I just didn't want to know the actual name for it if you knew. But
I think they're called. It's something like that. It's a little hard to pronounce for me. It's Russian.
Interesting.
Would you at some point go and train in Russia for a month? I feel like if any of our guys would go there for a month, like in pull a Bajrang, I could see you just going there for a month.
I used to think about it all the time, and now, right, it's hard while I'm in school and stuff, but I definitely think about it a lot. Like, it'd be really cool. I have to do it before, because, like, if I ever, I mean, hopefully someday I'm going to the World Championships or something. Once it's that, I, like, can't go because they're just going to, like, scout me and do all this stuff. But I can go now when I'm not even national team. They'll be like, this guy sucks. And just like let me go train.
I don't think so. I bet they all know who you are over there. Like there's no
yeah, I think they do. But it would definitely be cool. It'd be a cool learning experience. I went in high school one time with Vito for the week, but we were like too young. Like we were too young to the point where like we couldn't even really compete with the Sonoma guys. So it wasn't the same experience,
I've talked to a couple guys that have trained over there and they've said only awesome things. So
yeah, I've heard it's awesome. I want to do it. I definitely want to do it at some point.
Yeah, I was considering it also.
Gilman talked about him going over there when he was in this podcast a couple times ago. Yeah. He talked about going over there. Do you think that does give you a disadvantage? Like, do you think it's a disadvantage for Bajrang to go over there and train right now?
No. Because, so here's the thing. When you're Bajrang, like, I can tell you how Bajrang wrestles, but the hard thing is that it's like, well, what are you going to do? Like, he wrestles super hard. He's super strong, and he, like, steps on your foot. So it's like, all right, move your feet, and, like, don't get tired. Easier said than done, right?
Way easier said than done.
So for him, I think it's fine because it's like, all you're going to get out of wrestling with Bajrang is like, wow, that dude's in really good shape. I better take it easy. But I think for certain guys, maybe guys who are more scoutable or maybe their style is more like something you can figure out, then it might be more of a disadvantage. But I think for a guy like Bajrang, like he'll be fine,
That makes sense.
He's kind of one of those guys that he's pretty good everywhere. So
yeah, like he's gonna wrestle hard. He's gonna go try to kill you. So it's like, all right, I wrestle with him. He wrestles the same way in a match if he wouldn't practice. He's just trying to kill you. Huh. So it's like, it's cool to get that feel, but it's not going to do anything.
I forgot who was saying that for some guys, it's not even about like getting somebody, because I can't remember who was on here talking about that, but it's like getting the feel for somebody and seeing somebody are two totally different things. And it sounds like that's
talking about that.
Was it J.O. saying it?
Yeah, he's like, because he's like, a lot of these guys have seen me, but they haven't felt me. So like,
and that's definitely part of it because things look a certain way and they're not like that. Yeah. Like I look super strong and handsome, but that's not like how I wrestle. You know what I mean? So
That's good. Yeah, man. Me too. But
oh yeah, but you are. It translates. For me, it doesn't. Unfortunately,
okay.
I just look like it.
Yeah,
that got me thinking that I believe Imar trained over there for a couple weeks too, before after a tournament 2 years ago. That got me thinking about Burroughs, Imar, and I'm curious, Yianni and Cenzo, you can give a prediction too on what you think that match takes place later this week. What do you think will happen with that one?
I'm gonna let Yianni take this one.
Okay. I mean, definitely think, Jordan. I mean, Jordan beat him in the series, and Imar's definitely going to compete with him. But I just want to know where he's at, with his shoulder. I know I think he had shoulder surgery, right? So if he's at 100%, I know he wrestled well at the senior nationals, right? But I don't know. Sometimes that stuff can take longer than you expect, right? I mean, I don't know. I've had my share of surgery. Sometimes you think you're good, or maybe you're a little inconsistent on the first way back. So it might depend, but I think if he's good to go, it's going to be a dogfight with those two, right? Because Jordan's going to wrestle hard, and Imar, now that he's wrestled him, and I think you could see right in the Final X series, he figured out his way to wrestle Jordan. So I think it's definitely going to be really competitive if he's good to go with his shoulder.
I think so too. I think it'll be one score match. It'll probably come down to one exchange. If if both guys are firing, then I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be a really good match. But I agree. I think maybe an exchange towards the end is going to decide it.
Yeah, because Burroughs is going to come super hard in the last 30.
Right.
And whether he's up or down by one, that last 30 is going to decide it, right?
I think so too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be my thing. We don't really know where Imar's gas tank is. That it's been a while since he didn't like his performance at the Open. And aside from that, I think Final X against Burroughs was the last time we really saw him. That's a long time. And then he said this was his first surgery he's ever had, which is nuts to be at that level competing.
Yeah, good for him.
That's just. But seeing where it's going to be interesting. I'm glad they both took it so close to the World Team Trials.
Right, and I don't think he would have taken this match if he didn't think he was ready to go. I mean,
right. You don't want to go out there and embarrass yourself.
No,
right.
Absolutely not. And he's wrestling one of the best wrestlers of pretty much of all time. He's one of the best American wrestlers ever. So he's gonna have to bring it.
Yeah, I'm excited for that one. Are there going to be other matches on that card, or is it just those two?
No,
it's on a grappling card.
Yeah, it's Flow Grappling's who's number one on Flow Grappling, and this is a main event attraction.
The wrestling match.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Which is cool. It's
gonna cross the fans over a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be super cool.
Hopefully, it's a good, exciting match.
There is, there are a couple more cards. I know there's a FCA is.
I know Mark Hall's wrestling.
Mark Hall's wrestling Drew Foster, and Nahshon Garrett's wrestling Jaden Ironman.
When's that going down?
Oh, let's go.
Saturday on FCA Wrestling's doing a Truth and Technique. I think it's a clinic during the day, and then there's 5 matches at the end.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I feel like I follow every single foreign wrestling match that happens in the back nowhere streets of Dagestan. But I didn't know about that one.
You don't know about the ones going on down the street.
But I didn't know about the one happening around.
Yeah, it hasn't been that heavily advertised, and that's one of the reasons I put out stuff on Baschamania, because FCA Wrestling's putting on themselves, so Flow's not putting it out, Track's not putting it out, Rokfin doesn't put anything out, so you really don't hear much about it, and even the athletes don't seem like they posted too much about it. I don't know that Nahshon's posted too much about it. It should be a good match.
Mark's here training right now, Mark Hall, with Dave McFadden. We're having a little training camp. And he mentioned that he was competing this weekend. And I was like, really? In what? Maybe he meant in a month or something. I didn't know. But now it's coming together.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known about it unless I talked to him a lot. So
yeah.
If I didn't, then I'd have probably no idea. But
that's good.
That makes sense.
That's some good matches.
Yeah,
some good matches. So, Yianni, we do a segment on this show called Rapid Fire Word Association. We just started doing it. It's brought to you by these people. Rapid Fire Keto Coffee.
Awesome.
It's really good. I don't drink a lot of instant coffee. This stuff is just
that's the only instant coffee I think I've ever had.
I've tried some before. It was not nearly as good as this. On the road, hotel, had
no. I couldn't do it, man. No, that's like all like healthy organic stuff, and like it's just like a macchiato. It's not even like coffee. It's really good.
Yeah, I had 2 shots of espresso before this show.
So you're charged up.
And now I'm gonna go have some of this
too.
afterwards. It's Flag Day, dude. Anything goes on Flag Day.
It's Flag Day. We're allowed to do whatever we want.
So happy Flag Day, everyone, by the way. So rapid fire word association. We're each gonna throw out 3 words at you, one at a time, and you just have to say the first word that comes to your mind. Can be a person, color, a word, anything, adjective, just a word. All right. So I'll go first. Veto.
Russian.
All right, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, the first word that came to mind was Aruja, but that's
I thought you were going to say Aruja if you answered
like,
quickly.
And then I was like, all right, I can't say that. Russian.
I mean, you're not wrong. All right.
Right.
Yeah.
My first word, Sunny Abe.
Oh, bear call sprint. You know the bear call sprint. Those things are terrible.
Dude, I make my M2 kids do that, and they hate it.
It's terrible. I still remember that one kid crying, and Sonny, and like him being like, Sonny, like, can I stop? And Sonny being like, are they all gonna run? And him being like, yeah. It's like, well, then you gotta run, and like make them go back out.
Dude, we had some fun times there, but those were some killer camps.
Yeah, Sonny's the man.
He is. He sure
He's
is.
awesome.
All right, next word, Ithaca.
Oh, construction work.
I thought you were gonna say snow, 'cause that's the first thing I.
That was another one that popped into my head, but snow is just like a part of my life. Ithaca, we have like 3 seasons. So there's the fall, there's winter, construction work, and summer, and that's kind of like how it goes, because there's that middle period, whatever it's called, after winter before summer, where everybody just does construction around here the whole time, because it's the only time you can do anything.
It's like Atherton Street.
No, Atherton Street, they start doing work when everyone comes back into town.
Perfect timing, right?
Yeah, no, it's awesome, and it's been going on, my entire college career. So I'm sure,
literally, it takes
and after, and this past year. So like, I'm sure it's been going on.
It takes
forever.
It takes you 20 minutes to drive a mile around here, just because everyone's doing construction around.
Oh, what a mess.
Very frustrating.
That's why everyone walks.
All right, my next one, salmon fillets.
My dad's seafood. Yeah.
So have I ever told you that story when he texted me and just said salmon fillets like years ago?
No, what did he do?
Okay, so it's like, this is my my red shirt freshman year, my first year competing in college, and it's like wintertime, and I just get a text from a random number. It says like salmon fillets. And I was like, what the hell is this? So I text back. I was like, hey, I think you have the wrong number. And it was your dad. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, Cenzo. Like, I don't know how or why I texted you by accident. And then months later, after nationals, he texted me. He just goes, salmon fillets, like in all caps. He's like, I'll get you all the effing salmon you could want. I was like, hey, my man.
No, you're definitely like, me and my dad used to always talk about you in college. He's like, Cenzo, like, especially your freshman year, right? Mm-hmm. We were getting hyped for you. But yeah, my dad just like, that's my dad's like expression of friendship towards people, is like giving them fish.
Yeah, he's the boy. It was obviously, he didn't give me any, but it was hilarious though.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I can't remember. Maybe it was Burroughs. He made a bet with somebody. I think it was Burroughs. He made a bet.
That was Burroughs. Yeah.
What was that over?
It was over the Gabe Dean and Tim Dudley NCAA final, because where we were sitting, Jordan happened to be sitting literally right behind us with like his family. He's talking to my dad, and then like they're like, all right, you can't bet on college wrestling. They're like, let's just see what happens in this match will depend on what happens next.
Okay.
And it was like, I don't know. My dad's like, all right, if Tim Dudley wins, like, I'll give you some fish. And Gabe won, but my dad was like, all right, well, I'll still say fish. Like, send him some salmon over.
Good man.
I think it was a bunch of lobster too.
Yeah, I mean, it probably was supposed to be salmon, but my dad was definitely a really generous guy with his fish donations.
He hooked it up for the
yeah,
man.
he definitely hooked them up a little bit. But
I'm gonna text someone randomly today. I haven't decided who yet, because I just thought about this. But I'm just gonna text salmon fillets to somebody.
Yeah.
Like somebody like Nico. Somebody who will be neurotic about it.
What does that even mean? Like
Nico
Nico
Megaludis?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that'll be good.
Then I'm just gonna screenshot it.
Oh my gosh.
All right, my third word, sunlight.
Kyle Dake. I've been doing some of that stuff though, trying to.
I saw your post last week, like the bare feet in the dirt.
Outside. It's common sense, right? Like being in the sun and grass is probably better for you than looking at your phone.
I would think so, but
it would make sense. But
when you posted that like a week ago, did you happen to be outside with your shirt off, shoes off, or were you trying to get sunlight and dirt?
No, I mean sometimes, especially if it's sunny, I'll just be like, "Oh, it's nice. I'm gonna go outside," and then I realized I was doing exactly what Kyle would tell me to do. I'm like, "Oh, I gotta tell."
Might as well get credit, right?
Nice.
Yeah, right now, like I try to do it every day, right? Especially, it's easy in the summer though, right? It's like, oh no, like what am I gonna do? Go outside in 80-degree sunlight, like you know what I mean?
Right, like it's suffering.
Like it's such a terrible thing to do, but
it's a chore.
Yeah, I mean, but he does it all year. He's not afraid to get out there in the snow.
Good for him.
Will he sit there with his shirt off in the winter?
Mm-hmm. I'll have his shorts rolled up so we can get max sun exposure and everything. Like he's hardcore. He's hardcore.
It's paying off. Nobody can say anything.
Yeah, he's
That's what I'm saying.
We keep talking about it, but yeah.
It's like you call it crazy,
but is it?
It's working.
Right.
But is it? All right, my last one, and like this actually has nothing to do with the poster behind you, but USA Wrestling.
Oh, there's like a million things that are going in my brain right now. Tokyo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What were some of the others going through your mind?
I want to hear the other ones.
Because I saw like rapid fire brain thoughts going.
Yeah, like I had Bill Zadek, I had Joe Russell, I had like Olympic trials, I had World Team trials, I had Tokyo. But Bill might have been literally the first one that came to mind.
Yeah, I might have said Bill Zadek also, but if you asked Bill Zadek, I would say Lebanese. First thing that comes to my mind when I think of Bill.
I would have said Mountain Man.
That too.
Mountain Man. Those are some good, quick responses.
I know.
Yeah, you guys had some good words for me. I thought it was gonna be stupid stuff like takedown. I was gonna be like single leg.
Yeah, no,
he said salmon fillet.
Yeah, listen, we're above that. We've done this like 4 times, so we're pretty much pros.
Yeah, I mean, we have an official sponsor, Rapid Fire, which by the way, it's funny because as we talk about rapid fire, I can see people's brains start to think like, what words are they going to ask me? I'm going to be ready.
Yeah.
And
I was getting ready, but usually people say something like, "Oh, Cornell." You're like, I'm like, the easy ones.
Yeah.
You guys are giving me good ones though. The Sonny one was great. I asked you, Sonny.
I asked Austin O'Connor about Eric Hong, and that was a good one. Because they used to wrestle all the time, if you remember.
Dude, they'd always be like 2-1 overtime headbutting dog fights.
Yes, every time.
Headbutt.
Uh-huh. Yeah, so he remembers too. Yeah.
Yeah. That's like every match Eric wrestled, though. I remember.
Yianni just has a brain of wrestling.
For half of it.
I know Willie thinks he's the greatest brain in wrestling, and he's up there.
Should I challenge Willie in like a greatest wrestling mind contest?
That needs to be on this podcast.
Let's do it on here. Yeah.
Like what is it? Like Jeopardy, but it's wrestling brain.
that would be legendary.
All right, I'll hop in also. Justin, you could be like the host.
Okay.
And then it could be like us 3.
We could do it.
I'll come in last, but it's all good. I'm just here for the competition.
Do you think that you like? I know one of Willie's like favorite realms is like recruiting and that level of wrestling. Do you follow it immensely there? Like, are you paying attention to who goes where, who would be a good fit anywhere?
I probably should start more. It was easy, right? Like when I was in high school, my brother was in high school, but I've definitely started to fall off a little bit with paying attention to the kids. I feel like now I just kind of watch, like I'll watch the Ironman finals, watch the Super 32 finals, and like, oh, that kid looked like he was good. And then I'll Google, I'll be like, oh, he's number 1 kid in the country. That's why he looks like he's good.
That's why he's pretty good.
That's why he looks like he's good.
Yeah, because he is.
Yeah, I'm a little bit out of the loop with that stuff. I feel like my intensity of what I follow is definitely most related to the level I'm at, right? So like I was really into high school, and then I would watch. I mean, college is easy because you can the guys, right?
Right.
So now it's been like a ton of senior level stuff for me. Like I could tell you who took like, I don't know, 4th at the Ucan 2 years ago, or you know what I mean? Like
who took 4th at the Ucan 2 years ago?
Oh, what weight class do you ask about?
At 57 kilos.
I gotta told you 65. 57 probably. I mean,
that's why I asked for 57.
You're killing me. I don't know. I gotta go back and watch now. I haven't studied enough.
All right, we'll go 61 since you're cutting down to 133.
Listen, I'm going out of there either. 61 that year. I remember it was like a weird weight class because technically it was the Olympic year coming up, I guess. But that was like Vito went there. That was a good tournament, honestly. Vito wrestled 57. I could have told you he took 30, 57, I guess, because Vito lost to the guy who lost to Tuskayev, and then Tuskayev ended up winning that tournament, and then he was like the rep for Russia that year. That was like Uregan's always crazy because you'll have random guys who you've never heard of because they're like 21 years old. They're like kids basically, and they like make their senior level debut at the Uregan. These Russian dudes, and then they're
just good, and they're just beat.
And then they're suddenly beat everybody.
Yeah,
they're top 5 in the world. And you're like, man,
you're like, who is this guy?
Yeah, literally. This guy, I literally looked him up because I'm like, oh, if Vito wins, we'll have this guy. I'm like, oh, he's junior European champ. Like, okay, he's probably pretty good. And then he's
just a dog,
world team member, beast.
Damn.
Speaking of kids, brother Greg, where is he at? Is he coming to Cornell soon?
Yep. So he just took the gap year. We're gonna figure out what's going on with him and Vito as far as what weight Vito wants to go and all that, but. Right now we're just working on getting him bigger and getting that like college wrestling, you know what I mean? Because he's good, he's really skilled, but there's certain things that you just have to be able to do to succeed in college, like hand fight really hard and ride on top. You know what I mean? Those kind of skills that you don't really
it's different.
Take advantage of in high school.
It's just a little different. It's just like a little different intensity.
Yeah, like wrestling hard. Like, you know, I mean, it's not a thing in high school, like wrestling hard.
It's like, it's not just wrestling hard, it's wrestling hard like for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Like
because like you can sprint, but like high school kids like sprint and then they kind of just stand there and like, college guys just trying to kill each other. Like some of them, the skill isn't there and they're just trying to kill the other guy. And
I feel like that's a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Saying.
It's gonna be fun to see him at Cornell though. I can't wait.
Yeah.
So is Vito not wrestling 25 then this year?
I don't know. I actually don't know. I haven't asked. I think he might, in which case Greg will probably have to take a year. Or just, we gotta figure it out because if Vito goes 25.
He's not going to beat you out for 33.
No, he can't. He can't go 33. That's my weight. So Vito has to go 25. That's right. I'm bumping him down, basically.
Yeah.
But, it's going to be up to, like, if Vito wrestles the whole season or not. You know what I mean? If he wants to take some of that time and do some freestyle. So it'll be interesting. There's a lot of things we got to figure out. But because of the situation that we kind of found ourselves in with not only having one coach, that's kind of like the first priority is like Mike's doing the job of 4 as one man. We're trying to have 4 guys do the job of 4 right now.
His head's got to be stressed.
He's been stressed. He's like, I'm calling recruits. I'm calling alumni. I'm running practice. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Like he was saying, he's like, he goes through his day. He puts that on the bed. He goes, then I do like the job I actually do. It's like coach wrestling. Like from 9 p.m. to midnight is when he's like watching film and watching stuff. Like I'll get texts from him at like 1 a.m. I'll see the next day and he'll be like, hey, when you're doing this, you need to do this. I'm like, where did that come from? He's been doing stuff
came
all
to
day.
him in a dream.
Yeah, literally. He was dreaming about wrestling. Woke up and was like, hold on, I gotta tell you.
Right. Huh.
You love to see that.
Sure do.
Yeah.
Well, real quick, before we start wrapping this up, our final sponsor for today.
Ucan.
Oh,
we have a ton of Ucan stuff at Cornell.
Dude,
it's awesome. It's great.
They reached
the
out.
Ucan bars are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Ucan is super good. So for those that don't know, it's an important way to optimize your athletic performance and fitness. Is to eat and fuel with foods that help regulate blood sugar, which is key for metabolism to work effectively. Most sports energy products are filled with sugar or fast carbs, give you a quick flash of energy that's short-lived, like amino energy I've talked about on here. I get a huge spike, and then I crash. We started using this because, Cenzo started using it because Kassar and some other guys started using it, and everybody talks so highly of it.
Right,
so then
that's awesome.
We started talking about how they have this patented ingredient, super starch, It's a remarkable ability to provide a steady release of energy without spiking blood sugar levels. So instead of a really fast, like this one, the energy, instead of a really fast like spike, it's sustained.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice. It carries you through the day. So sometimes if I don't, like this afternoon, I might do the keto coffee, but like tomorrow morning when I wake up, it's this. Sustained energy all day. So for athletes or even podcast hosts and entrepreneurs like me, the thing works great. It's literally like my wife started using it. I've been using it. I have more energy. Cenzo, I know you said you loved it.
Right.
So you can now go to ucan.co/Cenzo, save 20% with promo code Cenzo. So give this.
Wow. You can.
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't know I was the promo code for this one too. That's crazy. Shout out to me. No, but I do love this stuff. Take it like half an hour before you work out and you just feel good the whole time. You don't get like a crazy spike or anything, but you just feel good. Like you just have good sustainable energy. So highly recommend.
Yeah, this is the stuff that like sustains you through an afternoon, through the entire morning. Because amino energy like is great for a half hour, and then I crash. I need coffee. This stuff is just straight sustained energy. So,
and if you take it with coffee, then you get a spike.
And you get the spike, and you ride it.
Yeah, you ride the spike.
That sounds like a fun afternoon.
That's most of mine. Yeah.
So you can start sponsoring the podcast. So if you're looking for supplements, if you're looking for energy, go try it. As Yianni just said, like it's everywhere. Everybody's loving this stuff. They're eating it up. So I'm proud to bring them on board. I know when Cenzo said, "Hey, these guys are great. Let's bring them on." So let's do it. So thank you, Ucan, Manscaped, Rapid Fire, Attack. Download Attack.
Hey, and thanks to you guys for listening.
Yeah. Thank you to the listeners. Let us know who we should text. By the way, for those people listening, go text your friends salmon fillets and just see what happens.
Salmon fillet.
Like text your friends salmon fillets and just screenshot it and tweet the three of us.
What's great is there's gonna be at least one person who texts their friend, and then their friend's gonna also have seen this and then text back, and that's like
in all caps.
And then full circle. That's what we love.
Right.
So Yianni, are you gonna roll with Market all this week?
I'm gonna try to. I want to get that feel. He's like an 86 guy, but he's not too big, I feel like.
Yeah, no, he can. He's one of those guys. He can wrestle with anybody. Like,
yeah, and I'm going 57, so I got to get bigger anyway.
Right.
I gotta use that.
Yeah, so 33 or 57. You got a big decision to make here.
I got a big range to work with there.
Yeah, big decision.
Who would have thought that the next year Cornell lineup is going to be Greg at 25, Yianni at 33, and Vito at 41?
Not Vito 41. First. Vito 41, then Josh Saunders 49, then back to me at 57.
So are you're gonna wrestle two weights, 33
and 57. I'll just weigh in again after the weigh-in so I can get heavy enough for 57.
Do you think if you weighed in at 133, how long do you think it would take you to get up to 157?
Oh, well, I think it would take me a while to get to 33, but if I ever got down there, I feel like I'd probably get to 57 pretty fast.
Like a day and a half. Like, all right.
Like, yo, give me till like tomorrow and I'll be good to go. I'll just literally sit and drink water until I explode.
I'm assuming too, by the way, you're pretty confident that Cornell is going to have a season this year.
Yeah, they already made like this statement from the school saying that we're going full send for all sports. We had some sports compete in their like Ivy League championship this year if their season was late enough. So we actually had some sports compete this year. So they're definitely all in for competing.
Perfect.
Basically they're like, as long as there isn't a second global epidemic that goes down, we're going to have a season. So
hey, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed, right?
Fingers crossed.
We just got to go 1 year without anything insane happening.
Let's see if we can do it.
Yeah, please.
Hey, that'll be tough, but it'll be pretty ideal if so.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Literally.
That's all I got. Cenzo, you got anything?
Zero. Yanni, any final thoughts or words?
No, thanks for having me on. Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Awesome. Salmon fillets.
Salmon fillets. Cool stuff.
And the beat goes on.